Welcome, welcome. Excuse me. I know. Welcome, y'all. But man, we are here. We are here. Trump urges peace between Russia, Ukraine, and Boris Khan job education department. The signs is right there. It's clear right in front of your face that we are in the end time. No one wants to wake up and realize that fact. People are asleep, people are lost, and people are confused, and they do not want to accept the truth. Well, it doesn't matter what you want to accept. It don't matter what you want to accept. It doesn't matter what you want to accept. The truth is right in front of your face. All of a sudden, during the whole run of Joe Biden, we didn't hear nothing about this. Bringing peace, making things great again, all of a sudden. But this man right here wants to bring peace. This man right here wants to make America great again. Something just ain't right with that. The Bible told us all about these things. And it seems like it's happening more so than it has ever. Every day, things seem to get worse. Every day, things seem to get more biblical. And boy, is it mind-blowing. And boy, is it shocking. And we're more close to the rapture than anything that we have ever seen before. For those who are coming from YouTube, those who are coming from Facebook, make sure you follow the podcast on Spotify, Aquarius Water 444. Let's go, man. Let's get into this.
Said that is something that's not going to happen.
Are you freezing out President Zelensky of this process? Isn't there a danger of that?
No, I don't think so. As long as he's there, but at some point you're going to have elections too. You're going to have an election.
He says he wants security assurances, Mr. President. What does that look like?
In terms of what?
If the war were to end, he says he wants guarantees of security.
We'll see what that means. I think when the war ends, one thing he was very strong about, if it ends, he wants it to end. And that's President Putin said that. He wants it to end. He doesn't want to end it and then go back to fighting 6 months later. We talked about the possibility, I mentioned it, of a ceasefire so we can stop the killing. And I think we'll probably end up at some point getting a ceasefire in the not too distant future.
Do you
expect Ukraine?
Say it, what?
Do you view Ukraine as an equal member of this peace process?
It's an interesting question. I think they have to make peace. Their people are being killed, and I think they have to make peace. I said that was not a good war to go into, and I think
the Bible tells you when the world is looking for peace and safety, destruction comes. When the world is looking for peace and safety, destruction comes. And boy, is this world not heading towards destruction. Once again, what do you think the whole point of the halftime Super Bowl was? See, people are looking at Kendrick Lamar like he sold out a long time ago. The thorns on the head, right? The outfit with the blood and the white, the hanging of the cross. You think he care about you? They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. It's a spiritual warfare. He's on the side of Satan. He sold out long ago. And more importantly, they saying he's artistic. The man might be demonically possessed or a clone. Because he doesn't even be looking too well or too good. Sorry. Kendrick Lamar might be either a clone or indeed demonically possessed.
I think they have to make peace. That's what I think.
So why did you decide to provide support to Ukraine? Would you support Zelensky ceding territory or exchanging territory in any agreement to end the war?
Well, he's going to have to do what he has to do, but, his poll numbers aren't particularly great, to put it mildly. He's got a country where, it's been savaged and attacked. And he's got an army that's been very, very brave, actually, despite the fact that, we've given him, in my opinion, $350 billion. That's what the real number is. You don't hear that number. And Europe has given, in my opinion, $100 billion. And they've done it in the form of a loan. And I have a Secretary of Treasury right now who's actually quite brave. He's over in Ukraine on a train. And there's a lot of things happening around that train that aren't so good. And he's going there to get a document done where we're going to be assured that we're going to, in some form, get this money back, because we're putting up far more money than Europe, and Europe is in far more danger than we are. We have an ocean in between. Europe has nothing in between. They have in between, they have Ukraine in between. So wait a minute. So as you know, Europe is putting up money, and they're getting it in the form of a loan. And the United States under Biden didn't do loans. They just handed money every time somebody walked in from Ukraine. They just handed them money foolishly. This should have never happened. It should have never started. And once it did, other things should have happened. Other things should have taken place. So we're getting security on our money. We're going to have it secured by, they have rare earth, and they have oil and gas, and they have a lot of other things. And we're asking for security on our money.
How long does Zelensky have?
They've agreed to it.
Ukraine.
Ukraine has agreed to it.
Does it mean you are not sending any more aid to Ukraine?
No, we are, but we want it secured, and the money is going to be secured.
When will the U.S. stop sending funding?
Let me say this. For people thinking, if we get peace, it's a false peace. The only one who's going to bring us peace is Jesus. I don't care if he's the Antichrist, God. You want to know, listen, anybody who's come and telling you peace and peace, it's not going to last long. Peace and then destruction comes. The only one who's able to provide you peace is Jesus. That is the only one who's going to be providing you peace. Is Jesus. Nobody else. Jesus is the only one that's going to be providing you peace and bringing you peace. Anybody else who's looking to bring peace and say his peace is the peace is false peace. Everybody keep trying to get around the situation, narrate around the situation. People want to live for this world, live in the world, love the world. And let me tell you something. If the world loves you, that means God hasn't chose you. The world does not love me. The world hates me, doesn't like me at all. Social media, majority of the platforms, they don't like me at all. So obviously I am indeed an chosen one. All right, what happened? All right, something happened. Hold on, y'all. Camera. All right. The camera went Aubrey for some reason. What the hell? But obviously you can see who the chosen ones are and who not chosen. Y'all have to wake up to the truth. And a lot of people who's coming out on the internet being loved and being liked by everybody, you are not chosen. You are a part of the world. The world loves you. When you're really speaking of Christ and really speaking about what's going on, not many people will like you. And not many people will love you, regardless of how many followers and likes you get. A lot of people hate you. A lot of people don't like you. A lot of people don't love you. So if you're loved and liked, you're not really a chosen one. If you're not hated, you're not really a chosen one. Like, I gotta wake up to the truth, man. And a lot of people out here, y'all lying, deceiving and manipulating people. This is the reason why I don't watch everybody. I don't listen to everybody, because they're liars. Right now, we're more in the end times more than anything. There's nothing else to pay attention to. Everybody else is a distraction. Kai Cenat, IShowSpeed, all these content creators, man, this is bullshit, man. The talk of the town, where we at in this world, is right here.
When would the U.S. stop sending funding?
Because if we didn't do that, then Putin would say he won. We're the thing that's holding it back. And frankly, we'll go as long as we have to go, because we're not going to let the other happen. But President Putin wants to have peace now, and that's good. And he didn't want to have peace with Biden.
Was that conversation with Putin?
And you tell me why that is, okay?
Was that conversation with Putin to start these negotiations part of the deal to bring Fogel home?
No, but it was a nice thing that he allowed Mark Fogel to leave. In fact, Mark wasn't feeling well, but he was all of a sudden about 2 weeks ago, he started being treated very nicely. He said they took him out for haircuts. They took him out. They helped him out a little bit and made him feel better, made him look better. And they were nice to him. And he said, I saw something happening.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, listen. People will believe they have peace in the end times, but destruction will come suddenly. The signs of the end times, including war, false peace, and the coming of the Messiah. People will believe they have peace, but destruction will come suddenly. There will be wars on a large scale. A false peace will come. The Messiah will come and establish a kingdom of peace. Okay, Jesus foretold that nations will rise against nations and kingdom against kingdoms. A symbolic horseman representing warfare will take peace away from the earth. The Antichrist. The Messiah will establish a lasting peace where nations will hammer their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. The only one who is going to bring peace in this world in the end times is the Messiah himself, God. These people, you're not getting peace. And if they do bring peace, it won't last very long. What more do you want? What more do you want? Time to wake up and smell the coffee. That's what you need to do. Let's get back to the video, man.
And it coincided with when I came into office. So that was nice. And he's a fine person. He was so happy to be out. He was there for 3.5 years plus, and he shouldn't have been there at all. They should have had him out much faster than that.
What does make you believe that Zelensky will agree?
Wait, go ahead, please.
Sorry, sir, just to be clear, do you see any future in which Ukraine returns to its pre-2014 borders?
Well, I think Pete said today that that's unlikely, right? It certainly would seem to be unlikely. They took a lot of land and they fought for that land, and they lost a lot of soldiers. But it would just seem to me, and I'm not making an opinion on it, but I've read a lot on it, and a lot of people think that that's unlikely. Some of it will come back. I think some of it will come back. Yeah, some of that land will come back.
These are both Russian.
Who are you with?
Sorry, me.
Yeah.
AFP.
You who?
AFP, Agence France Presse.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask you, the things that the Secretary of Defense was talking about, the 2014 borders and the lack of NATO membership. Ultimately, these are both demands that Russia has made in the past. Is there not a danger of handing Russia a kind of win on this?
Well, I think that if you look at the war, the way the war is going, you'll have to make your own determination. I'm just here to try and get peace. I don't care so much about anything other than I want to stop having millions of people killed.
You heard what he said? He doesn't care about anything else. He's looking to bring peace. The Bible told you, when you hear peace, destruction comes. For everyone wants peace and peace and peace, but destruction will come. He says he's not here for anything else but to make peace. And that he is trying to do. And that he is. But it won't happen. It won't happen, ladies and gentlemen. It's a false peace. I just read it to you. It's a false peace. If it ain't the Messiah, let me tell you right now. People will believe they have peace, but destruction will come suddenly. There will be wars on large scales. A false peace will come. The Messiah will come and establish a kingdom of peace, which is later on in the tribulation after Armageddon. And boy, do you not want to be here during those times. Boy, it's going to be a scary world, man. You want to be raptured up. All right? You want to be raptured up. People will believe they have peace, but destruction will come suddenly. Suddenly. Nations will rise against nations and kingdoms against kingdoms. That's exactly what's happening. A horseman representing warfare will take peace away from the earth. The Antichrist. The Lord of peace will give peace at all times and in every way. The Messiah will establish a lasting peace where nations will hammer. That is very, very down the road. But the peace that he's about to bring and do is false peace. It's false peace. It's not peace that you think. The peace is going to be temporary and destruction happens. The Bible just told you.
Killed. Last night, Kiev got hit very, very hard. I want to see people stop getting killed. That war is ridiculous. It should have never happened, and it would have never happened. Yeah, a couple of more questions.
Are you planning to sign an executive order on reciprocal tariffs, sir?
Yes, I am. In fact, I may do it today, and if I do it today, I could almost do it right now. Would you like me to talk about it now? I don't want to take anything away from this young lady's day because this is her day. And I may do it later on, or I may do it tomorrow morning, but we'll be signing reciprocal tariffs. The world has taken advantage of the United States for many years. They've charged us massive tariffs that we haven't charged them. And as you know, I just did something on steel and aluminum, 25%. And that'll go up at some point, but 25%, which will level the playing field quite a bit. I did it previously 50%. And Obama was very weak, and Biden was even weaker on steel. The steel was just absolutely. It really started with Obama. The world really took advantage of us, and then that morphed into Biden. And what they did was he was so worried about trying to attack his political opponent that he didn't know what he was doing with respect to countries taking advantage. He should have looked at the countries, both friend and foe, taking advantage of us. So we're going to be doing reciprocal tariffs, which is whatever they charge, we charge, very simply. But we're going to be
considering exemption. Talk about widespread fraud and abuse.
Oh yeah, tremendous fraud. There's tremendous fraud, and it's hard to believe that you can have that kind of fraud. You're talking about are you talking about what? Wait. Which are you talking? You're talking about with regard to all of the investigations that are going on about this stupidity. What we're going to do is tomorrow I'm having a news conference. I'm going to read to you some of the names that hundreds of millions and even billions of dollars have been given to. And if you tell me that we should be giving money to those things, those entities, I think you'll probably have to leave as a reporter because you're not very talented. When you look at the kind of money, billions and billions of dollars being thrown away illegally, and there's no chance. I mean, I say it in front of our Attorney General, there's no chance that there's not kickbacks or something going on. When you give millions and millions of dollars to somebody that stands to look at something for 15 minutes and walks away with millions of dollars, that money's coming back in some form. And that's only one form of corruption. The biggest thing is what they do to our country. They're taking massive amounts of money and spending it on items. I went through a list of 200 expenditures that were made, and I found 3 that looked like they were reasonable. Okay, 3. And we'll be talking about that tomorrow. We have a lot of stuff, and I want to commend Elon because he's done he doesn't need this. He's abused by you people every day. He's found more things than anybody could find. I think he's got the credibility to do it. I know he does. And it's his group of people. They started off with 12.
Ladies and gentlemen, look, all I'm going to say is this. The way he talking, it's obvious to tell that peace won't last long. It's a lot of corruption. It's a lot of corruption. It's a lot of greedy people. Okay. And he's right about America being taken advantage of. He's right. He's right. Right now, we're supposedly number one in the world. But we have a lot of enemies. America has a lot of enemies. We are so hated. So when it comes to being liked in this world, you might as well get out of that. When it comes to being liked in the world, you might as well get out of that. There's so many countries that hate us. A lot of countries don't like American people. And now sitting here, I'm starting to realize maybe America is one of the best places, the states in the world. Countries in the world. Maybe it is. We are so hated. We have so many enemies. And he's telling you why. We've been taken advantage of, billions and millions of dollars taken out. I think America is one of the richest countries in the world, if I'm not mistaken. It is. But there's more to it. There's more to it than what it meets the eyes. But scratch all that. It's game over, man. But regardless of how most people see it, regardless of how most people feel, we don't have long, man. So many people are fooled and distracted. And TikTok got people lost in the sauce. I told you TikTok will play a big part of this huge time. TikTok will play a big, huge part in this end game. And boy, and indeed is it is. You see how there will never be a buyer. There will never be a buyer. They're not gonna sell that algorithm. But they're gonna keep prolonging time until the end comes. They're gonna keep prolonging time until the end comes because that app is TikTok, meaning game over. Didn't you see at the halftime show it said game over? These celebrities have bunkers. They don't have bunkers because they just have bunkers. They have bunkers because of this moment right here. All these celebrities are making their money and they're disappearing because they know this world is about to head to war. But you know who's screwed? You know who's left out? Us as the people. We're not seeing that way. Drake has a bunker. Ricky Rose has a bunker. On the next podcast, we're going to get into that. We're going to show you the bunkers and speak on the bunkers that celebrity has. Instead of just having the video up here, we're going to play video. On top of the playing video, we're going to have some pictures and some articles and reading so you can get informed, so you can get more informative. Today's podcast and majority of recent ones, I wanted you to see the videos. I wanted you to see and hear what they say because a lot of people just skim through it. Yeah, I don't want to watch the full thing. I give you a good 13 minutes of it. I've been speaking in between, stopping in between, right? And usually the podcast is going on for 30 minutes, sometimes over. So it's a lot of good balance in between. Listen, yo, I be trying my best to educate, to teach, to warn people what's coming, what's happening, and what's about to go down. War is coming in the future. And that future, well, it's coming fast. I spent all my nights and days making podcasts, making content, posted on many social medias as possible. I've been doing this for years. A lot of you guys know me. 500,000 followers, exposing everything. Government took my account. Now, as I create platforms, I'm watched and stalked at all times, at all costs, while everybody's able to do what they want. You know why? Because I tell it like it is and I give it like it is. And I'm giving you the real deal. It's not fake. When they shadow banning you and when they keeping your views a certain way, it's because you know something that most and majority people do not know. You know what's coming while everybody's lost and stuck in the matrix.
I call them 12 geniuses. They started off with 12 and they went to 20 and 25, and now they're up to almost 100. People are joining to help them because there's a massive fraud that's taken place. And then you have judges that are activists, and they sit there and they say, oh, as an example, $59 million going to a little small group in New York City. You get nothing going to North Carolina to help nothing. They say, we don't have any money because they've given it away on the border. But you have nothing. What they did to North Carolina is a shame. And then they sent $59 million to New York City for a hotel for a little bit of nothing. What they've done, a hotel that was not luxury, that's getting luxury rates for migrants, where they're making a fortune, and we catch them. But a judge says, well, even though it may be a fraud, you have to send the money in anyway. Send the money. I said, wait a minute. We have money that shouldn't go because we caught it before it was sent out, but they want the money to go anyway.
And let me say this, during these times, you're going to see a lot more homelessness. You're going to see a lot more homelessness. You're going to see a lot more people effed up, messed up, fucked up, people you never thought would see. You're going to see things, man. Stop praising and idolizing these goddamn celebrities, man. Stop praising and idolizing these goddamn fucking celebrities, man.
And I think you're going to have a lot of things to look at, Pam. I really do. What's going on with this whole thing? And this is just one group. We haven't talked about Department of Education. We haven't talked about the military. We haven't talked about a lot of things that are very big. And what's happened is, as an example, you'll have cases where you have a 3-month contract, and maybe the guy that signs the contract leaves. Maybe he gets rich. All of a sudden he leaves for that reason. But you have a 3-month contract, and maybe he leaves. So the contract is sitting there, and the people signing the checks don't know it's 3 months, and it goes on for years. The 3 months turns out to be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Just goes on forever. And the guy on the other side of the contract just keeps getting check after check after check, because Elon had an expression yesterday, because nobody cares. It's a great expression. Nobody cares. The guy that signed the contract didn't care. Maybe there, may not be there, maybe crooked, who knows? But you have to care. Otherwise, you can't really run a thing like that, or you can't run a country, really. Because there's so many transactions, thousands and thousands.
He's just exposing how corrupt America is. He's just exposing how corrupt this world is, how evil this world is, how corrupt the world is. People thinking they're famous, thinking they're popular. Bro, none of that shit matters right now. We are in huge trouble. As a people, we're fucked. 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 We're fucked. And if you don't take the cracks out your eyes and get out the damn Super Bowl thinking it's entertainment, get out the celebrities and this girlfriend is really, you don't see why people's getting BBLs, injections, living the so-called best life. In this video, I showed you the reason why people were falling off the edge in that video is because of war. And that's exactly what we're heading towards. Time is up. Appreciate you guys joining the podcast, Aquarius Water 444. Make sure you follow that on Spotify, Make sure you follow the podcast, follow the YouTube Rebellious One with a number one also, spelling one and then put the number one. Okay. TikTok Rebellious Be Like No One. Appreciate everybody who joined and watched the podcast. Make sure you follow if you haven't. Wake up, man. Day by day it's getting worse. Things is coming in hot, things is coming in fast, and people just taking everything lightly. No, do not. It's game over.